About to do the brakes on this thing, and I'm caught without my tripod, so I'm going to have to do it off camera. But we got a new wheel cylinder for this side and the other side, new shoes for both sides, and a new spring kit for both sides, because I don't like the rust on this end. But let's get to it. It's getting dark. So I just took out the off the old brake cylinder, and what's coming out of the lines, it needs to be changed, but it's not horrible. Look what came out of the master cylinder, though. That stuff, it looks like a slug. It's solid. That is nasty. Yeah, that is some nasty stuff right there. I don't know if that's what it gets like after years, but that's pretty bad. Well, YouTube, it's dark outside. Got a giant, massive work light, and we're still on the Escort. Everything over here's done. This spring gave me a run for my money, but it's all hooked up. Just has to be bled. And gotta put the drum on and then the bearings back in, because this is one of those weird cars. And one subscriber tipped me off to that, and I'll include his name in the description. But this is one of those cars that you have to take the bearings and everything out to get the drum off. That's okay. But I gotta re-grease everything, and the bearings go in next. Then comes the washer, and then the nut and the cap. But we'll get her on, and then we'll go to the other side. Awesome, we got one side done. Fun fact, the bearing oil I'm using is about 30 years older than me. So, fun fact. Other side is of about the same quality. Didn't leak as much, but the pads are thinner on this side and more rust. Also spiders. So you can tell this thing hasn't been driven in a while. It's just time to clean it off, I guess, and get to it. It's nasty. But since most of that's coming off, we'll wait a little while. But anyway, time to get this off. I gotta hurry because it's like, 11. And I'm in a neighborhood and running gas. Also dying of exhaust fumes. That's awesome because there's a hole in the back of the muffler blowing at me. But yeah, if I survive the exhaust fumes, this might actually work. So, yep. And the only rust I've discovered on this side, and it isn't horrible, is there and there, which I can easily sand those down and spray some at some paint over and keep it good. And then we got some bubbling over here. Not bad, but bubbling always means there's moisture getting through from the other side, so I need to take care of that. This is definitely a little bit rough, but we'll do. But yeah, she's all off. Much faster process this time. I've cleaned it up a little bit, about as good as it's gonna get. Here's the old wheel cylinder. This one wasn't technically leaking yet, but it doesn't look to be in great shape. Although this one doesn't have nasty gunk coming out of it like the other one did. So we can assume that this side was a lot better, but there were still obviously leaks going on. It just hasn't gotten to the point of the other side yet. But that right there is a concoction of a little bit of gasoline, motor oil, gear lube, tons of brake cleaner, brake fluid, basically the stuff that you should put in your drinking supply. So if you ever get a hold of stuff like this, make sure to dump it directly into your water supply. But regardless, I'm about to go get the new wheel cylinder, which is in the garage, and we'll get back out on this because it's getting pretty late. But you ever wonder why I'm doing that? It's autofocus. Anyway, that's it. Well, got this one on. Last time it was this spring that gave me such a hard time, and believe it or not, I got it on first try this time. This time it was this spring that gave me such a darn hard time. It made me mad. I've been out here about an hour. It's probably about midnight now. Anyway, we'll continue on. So, a little tip for for the top one. When I would hook it, it started on this side. When I was pulling it over with my either brake tool or lock pliers or regular pliers, or I'll just keep pulling more pliers out. What it was doing was it was pushing everything to the side and making it farther. So what I did after getting really mad is I just got some string, wrapped it around there enough to probably, chop a head off of a zombie, That was a weird reference. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, and yeah, then it stayed, and then I finally got it on. So I think it's all up. I did get some grease, unfortunately, out of just frustration and using my hands on the brake pad. So I gotta clean them off now. But I think that this side is about to go back up together. So update in a minute.